2021. This is the online math tutoring stream for mathcelebrity.com. Get it started. A is multiplied by 2 and added to B. This is an algebraic expression. So A is multiplied 2 to A added to B to A plus B. And that's our first answer of this stream. Let's do a fraction one. We got, how many 1/4 sheets are there in 5 sheets? We can say we divide 5 sheets by 1/4 sheets. 5 divided by 1/4. However, when we divide by a fraction, it's the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of the fraction. The reciprocal of 1/4 is 4/1. So we have 5 times 4/1 equals 20/1 equals 20. Which means we can fit 20 1/4 sheets into 5 sheets. So that was fraction, division, and also multiplication and reciprocal. If you're new to the stream, I'm on the forum part of the Math Celebrity site, so mathcelebrity.com/community, and I tag these problems. So if you want to click any of these tags, it'll show you all the problems that we've answered that have to do or have these tags. All right, moving right along. This is a good one. Some of you know about square roots, but you don't know that they have special terms. So I'm going to do square root. The student or parent writes in 6 is the principal square root of 36. The two square roots of 36 are positive 6 and minus 6. The positive square root is known as the principal square root. Therefore, this is true. What I think is the student and parent just wanted some reassurance that 6 was the principal square root of 36, and they are correct. So that one's done. All right, let's see what else we got here. Do some salary and earnings. Daisy earned $300 for a 40-hour week. How much is her hourly rate? Hourly rate equals earnings divided by hours worked. That's how we get that. Daisy earned $300 and we divide by a 40-hour work week. I'm going off camera here to use my calculator because I am lazy. It's 7.5. So Daisy earns $7.50 per hour. That's how we get that. All right. Next. In a booklet, there are 25 tickets. Flame needs 75 tickets. How many booklets does he need? Booklets needed equal tickets, total tickets, tickets needed divided by tickets per booklet. Because if you want to look at this, you could say we have 25 tickets per booklet times B for booklets equals 75. And if we divide for B, we can even say B here, we get 75 over 25, right? We could do it that way because that's a little easier to understand. Therefore, booklets needed 3. 25 tickets per booklet. They need 75 tickets. 75 divided by 25 is 3. And that is how we get our answer. All right. Do sum of consecutive integers. These are automated on the Math Celebrity site, but the reason why this one fell out is because somebody typed 1 and then 100. So I can look into doing that. But what I'm going to do right here, I'm going off camera real quick. Copy this, and I'm just going to, instead of 117, I'm going to write 117, the number, and it'll run. Okay. What I'm doing now is I ran this problem on the Math Celebrity calculator, and I'm going to paste in the math from the Math Celebrity calculator. Okay. Notice they said odd. This is key here. In fact, I'm going to italicize this. Odd numbers. We pick a first number n. The next odd number is n plus 2, right? We're not doing consecutive. We're doing consecutive odd numbers. And then the next consecutive odd number is n plus 4. And we do this because we have odd numbers. We then set the sum of these three, right? Because sum means we add, equal to 117. Now what we're doing is we've got an equation we want to solve for n. And we want to figure out what n is, and then we can figure out the other integers. So I am just cleaning up the math. I'll let you read through what we found. So we group like terms. We got 3n's plus 2 plus 4, which is 3n plus 6 is 117. Now we've got this equation simplified. We want to solve for n. We subtract 6 from each side, simplify, evaluate. Then we divide each side by 3 to isolate n. We get n equal to 37. That is our first odd consecutive integer. The second one, odd consecutive integer, is found by adding the first one plus 2. We get 39. And then the third odd consecutive integer is found by adding 2 to the second one, or we could do 4 to the first one. Either way, we get 41. So our answer here is 37, 39, and 41, because those all add up to 117. And I have this little grid here because sometimes your problem will throw in a trick and say, what is the largest or the second or the minimum? This is how you know what's what. We had consecutive, and that one's done. Okay, let's do parallel and perpendicular lines. We've got line M passes through points 7, 5, and 9, 10. Line N passes through points 3, 1, and 7, 10. Are line M and N parallel or perpendicular? Slope of line M is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Divisor there too. Okay. Y2 is what? 10. Y1 is 5. X2 is 9. And x1 is 7. We've got 5 over 2 is our slope for M. Now we want to do the same thing, but for line N. So we've got 10 minus 1 and 7 minus 3. 3. We've got 9 over 4. This cannot be simplified, by the way. So the question asks, are they parallel or perpendicular? Lines that are parallel have equal slopes. Does 5 halves, since 5 halves does not equal 9/4, these lines are not parallel. Run 3 checks on the line, on the slopes. So we got check number 1. Lines that are perpendicular have negative reciprocal slopes. So if this was parallel, the slope of this would be, we'd flip this fraction and do -1. Since 9/4 is not equal to -2/5, the reciprocal of the slope of m, these lines are not perpendicular. They are not parallel, italics. They're not actually bold, because that's an answer, right? They're not parallel. They're not. Therefore, since the lines are not parallel and not perpendicular, they intersect. So we could just bold, this is really our final answer. So these lines are neither parallel nor perpendicular. In fact, I'm just going to say that. We don't even need intersect, because that's not what was asked. So whenever you're asked parallel or perpendicular, you got to get the slopes of the two lines. Once you have those, parallel lines have the exact same slope. Perpendicular lines are negative reciprocals of each other. So neither of those were the case, and so we have our answer. Moving on. Let's do this one. When 4 times a number is increased by 40, the answer is the same as when 100 is decreased by the number. The phrase number means an arbitrary variable. Let's call it x. If you've been on our stream before, you've seen this, but if you have not, the phrase a number will come up in algebraic expressions a lot, and it means you pick a variable. You can pick anything A to Z except for, I believe it's E and I, because those are reserved variables. So we're going to pick X because that is probably the most common variable in algebra. 4 times a number, we multiply X by 4. Increased by 40 means we add 40 to 4x plus 40. Okay. What I did here is I took, this is one term and I'm breaking it out. We've got a number is x, increase, or 4 times that is 4x, increased by 40. And that's our first term. 100 decreased by the number means we subtract x from 100. 100 minus x. Now we've got two terms. Let's bring this home. And I'm going to copy this for a reason. The phrase is the same as equal to. So we set for x plus 40 equal to 100 minus x. I want to spell out equal to. Equal to. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to solve for x. What I'm doing is I'm going off camera real quick. I'm going to get the math for this and paste it in, and we'll have our answer. Okay, I got it. I'm coming back on the screen with you now. So we want to solve for x in this equation. And as you can see, first thing we're doing is grouping the variable terms. We're grouping the constants. And once we do that, now we've got x term isolated, which is great. We're almost there. Now we want to divide by the coefficient, which in this case is 5, to isolate x. When we do that, we get x equal to 12. Now, let's not make any stupid mistakes. Let's check this answer. So let's go down here, check our work for x equal to 12. We've got time here. We're not going fast for a test. We got 12 and 100 minus 12. And I'm going to do a question mark because we don't know if these are equal. We're checking our work. We got 48 plus 40, question mark 100 minus 12, and we indeed get 88 equal 88. Outstanding. So we've proven our work out. Make sure we don't make any dumb mistakes, which is great. So X is 12. That's your answer. Okay. This one was interesting. This came in late last night, right before I fell asleep. The negative of the sum of C and D is equal to the difference of the negative of C and D. Okay, the negative, we've got two expressions here. Let's break them out. Negative C plus D. Negative of the sum, which means negative 1 times the sum, means negative 1 times the sum of C and D. Okay, so we got that. Now, the difference of the negative C and D means we subtract E from negative C minus D minus D. Okay, is this true? Well, this one is already simplified. This, in fact, we should do it up here. Distribute the negative sign. So we get negative C minus D. And indeed, so this statement is true since this equals this. True. So what I did here is I broke out the two terms, distributed the negative sign in the first one because it was not simplified, and lo and behold, it equals the second term, which is great. So we've got algebra, sign operations, and we are done. Okay, last one for the day, and then we can enjoy the rest of the weekend. What do we got? We got you went to the state fair and spent $20 if cotton candy costs $2 and a soda pop costs $1. Which equation represents the relation between the number of cotton candy C and soda pops S you can buy? We know that price equals cost times quantity. So we have $2 per $2 cost per cotton candy times C cotton candies plus $1 per soda pop times S soda pops equals $20. But 1S, since 1S is written as S, we have 2C plus S equals 20. That's our expression. So this is also called a cost function. So the key here is price equals cost times quantity. We take our quantity of cotton candy. In fact, let's get a little bit more meta on this. Our total cost is for 20 at the state fair is cost of cotton candy plus cost of soda. We went a little bit one level higher just so you can get a visual of what we're doing. Equals 20. And we broke it out here. Price equals cost times quantity. So cost of cotton candy is 2C, cost of soda is S, and it equals 20. And that, my friends, is all she wrote. Thanks for